Hello, hello, hello. It's Kathy Vidal at MyStampin'Spot.com coming to you with Thankful Thursday. Okay, so I had a request for the Shimmery White Embossing Paste, a demo on how to use it. And I have to tell you, I actually was very surprised. It doesn't really look it in this jar, but boy, it has a lot of shine to it, especially if it dries on your fingers. All right, so I'm going to put down this piece of scrap paper here. It's just a table mat that I have. I have a silicone mat, my paste, the palette knives, which we'll talk about. Hey, Donna, how are you? You can see over here I have a pan of water. It's gotten very cold. It was cool. I have a cloth to dry things. And, hey, Karen, Tina, thanks for being here, you guys. Okay, and you're going to want washi tape, masking tape. Oh, you're here. And this is, thank you. Here we go. I'm very excited, Joanna. Okay, so I do not have, hey, Marcia. I do not have washi tape, nor do I have masking tape. So I'm going to be using packing tape. You might want something a little less aggressive. All right, so let's talk about these tools. I am sure that they're all pretty interchangeable. 3 come to the pack. Clearly, they have different shapes. I used this one primarily. I did use this one, and I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you, let's see, where am I going to start? I'm going to start with the easiest one. So I have a piece of Night of Navy. It's a basic layer cardstock, and it has something on it. So it's cut 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm working with the, which are back in stock finally. These are the, thank you for sharing. These are the, I call them the sunflower masks. And gosh, can I remember what they're called? Oh, here they are. Abundant Beauty Decorative Masks. So probably what you didn't realize was there's this great leaf shape in here. There's a houndstooth and the snowflakes because it's white shimmery embossing powder. So this is what I'm going to choose to work with to start with. So, you know, it's not brain surgery. I'm just going to cover my piece here like this. Now I'm going to put it on an angle a little bit, and I'll tell you why. I don't know if you can tell or not. There is a clear border on either side. So if you put it at a slight angle, you will not get a border, like a natural looking border on your card front. And I'm just going to put a piece at the top of my thing here. Okay, couple cautionary tales. Hey, Kathy, welcome back. Kathy's been the world traveler. So your shimmery white comes in this plastic bag. I highly recommend that you keep it. I also recommend there's a metallic top that you take off, but there is also this kind of like foamy piece in here. Make sure you keep that because that's really going to help you get the seal. And then you do want, when you're done, to put this back in the plastic bag. You don't want to chance this drying out. All right, I am just going to pick up some with my palette knife. Let's see if you can see how sparkly that is. I don't know if you really can. Oh, maybe there. So it looks more moist, but that moist looking is actually the sparkles. Hey, Pat, thanks for being here. Okay, this is way too much, but that's okay. I'm going to use it anyway. So I'm just going to kind of hold the bottom of my mask here. Do you see the whole camera here? You guys seeing this on? Let me push this up just a little bit. I am just going to hold this. The paper does stay pretty good, especially once you start putting this embossing paste on it. You may be able to see the glitter a little bit better right now. And you're basically, it goes on kind of like frosting, actually. I have to say, so this was requested, And I kind of was dreading working with it. And it's one of those things, it's almost addictive. I don't know how else to say it. Use every scrap of it by really pushing down on your knife and getting every scrap on there. Yeah, it kind of, I mean, I could have made samples for days. I was having so much fun. So if you want to consider this for your Christmas card, I'm not going to discourage you because it's way more entertaining and fun. I'm going to put a little more right here. I don't know why that's not really filling in there. I might be pushing down a little too hard as I scrape it off. There we go. Okay. Now, you definitely want to get off as much as you can. The wide paddle is better because then it doesn't get in the grooves. This is so that you have very little waste. I need a little fill in there. And you can get most of it up, quite honestly. And just keep putting it in your container. Okay, we're going to lift this up. We're going to kind of peel it off. How gorgeous is that? Now wait till it dries. It's even... How long would I say the paste would last? I would think indefinitely as long as you sealed it tight. That would be my guess. My guess. I don't know. It's very liquidy. It's very soft. I don't know if you can see how soft it is. It's softer than a can of frosting. So really, it's really a matter of making sure you keep it really sealed tight, which is why I'm suggesting that you save the Ziploc bag it comes in. Okay, you're going to want to clean off your palette. I'm over here in my water cleaning off my palette like this. You do want to have water beside you, and you're going to want to dry that right off. And then you're also going to want to clean this off right away. So, can you get it off if it dries on here? Yes, you can. Is it easy? No, it's not. Oh, that's the reason why it wouldn't fill in. My tape was over the snowflake. And you're going to just put it in there and swish it around. I know you can't see my whole bin, but, and it comes off very, very easily. I moved my barrel for this, so I'm just trying to, and then kind of just dry that off, and you are good to go. Again, and we're going to do it again, but we're going to add a color to it. So this time, well, let me show you what I did with this one. This one, when it was dry, I just stamped from the Sparkling Snowflake stamp set, I just stamped the little Let It Snow. I cut it out with the stylish shaped dies, and there it is finished. So here it is wet, and here it is finished. Can you see the finished, the sparkle it has? It's almost like, remember the old Dazzling Diamonds, the really fine powder that we used to have? I'm going to see if I can show you how raised it is. It's pretty significant. It doesn't come off when you rub it. It's pretty cool. And like I said, it's almost like Dazzling Diamonds from years ago. I don't know if you're getting a good look here. But, okay, so this one's wet. I'm going to put this off to the side. All right, then I thought, what will it look like if we... Oh, and I didn't cut the piece of cardstock. So just excuse me for 1 minute while I cut the piece of cardstock for the second card. I'm just doing a 4 by 5 1/4. That's a 4 by 5 1/4. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put my snowflakes on here at a slight angle. Oh, let me show you why I did it on a slight angle. What did I do with that card? Here it is. When I did it straight, if you notice, I got like a border down each side. And probably you wouldn't notice it if I didn't show it to you, compared to Although this one, you can almost see that it was boarded at an angle. So maybe I would do it straight. Maybe I'm going to take that back and I will do it straight. Like that. And here we go. Again, I'm going to just use a piece of packing tape. You can use masking tape, washi tape, whatever you have. All right, now this was fun. Again, I chose to use this knife pretty much the whole time. I'm going to take some paste. Oh, can you see the glitter there in that? You see how it has almost like an icy, see it there? Almost like an icy blue glitter to it. It really shows up when it's spread out thin on this darker mat. Then I'm going to take Bonnie Blue. And I'm going to add a couple drops. Now, you can make this as light as you want or as dark as you want. And I'm going to show you that. So this is just one drop. It's going to make a beautiful color. Beautiful. This is kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. I'm telling you, I kind of was dreading working with it, but I'm thankful that Joanna pushed me a little bit, a gentle nudge, because it truly is fun. Okay, I'm going to leave this light. Actually, maybe I'll do it darker because I have a sample of it done light. I'm just trying to scrape it all together. And let's add one more drop, and we'll work that in there again. This is Balmy Blue. And we're just mixing it up. I find the wider knife is a little easier to mix the color. At least that's what I found. I'm not saying this knife wouldn't work. I'm just not sure how I would use that knife. I'm thinking if the jar was pretty empty and I was trying to scrape it out of the bottom, but I don't know as far as doing the stencils. Now remember, I'm using the stencils that we sell, but there's no reason why you couldn't take a die set of a flower and on a piece of, please explain the intended purpose of each knife. Okay, I will. Let me finish this one thought. So, where was I going? I was just about to explain something. Now I don't know. All right, so let's talk about each knife. Clearly, this one has a nice wide edge to scrape with. I found this one the most useful because it took the least amount of work. You don't have to angle your hand funny like this one. You know, you'd have to get down pretty low to get that to scrape nice. I'm not really sure what you would use this one for. I am thinking to scrape out the edges of the paste, or if you were putting a lot of paste, say, in a Dixie cup and you really wanted to mix it up, this would probably be the one you want to use. This one we're going to use in a minute, and I'll explain how we use that one. This is definitely my favorite. So I don't really think that there's a right and wrong for any knife that you use. Honestly, I think it's just you have to play with it. So again, this is 2 drops of Balmy Blue in gray fill. I think the sample card I'm going to show you in a minute, I only used 1 drop. Now, I have a lot of paste here. What am I going to do with my paste, you ask? And I probably should have brought one over. I may have one on my desk. I'll show you. So I like this because it's easier to see with the blue how much is on there. Oh, I was talking about other masks. That's right. So you could take a fancy die. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. But you could take a fancy die and die cut a piece of window sheet and make your own stencils. I didn't do it for this presentation. Maybe I'll do it another day. But that would be something you could do. So I like this palette because it's nice and wide to be able to really get all of this extra off here, which I think is awesome. And I'm kind of making a mess of my silicone mat, but that's okay. We're going to go back and address that after. Get it nice and clean. Oh, we're going to pick this up. How pretty is that? Isn't that gorgeous? And again, it might be really hard for you to see, but trust me when I tell you, it looks like it's covered in dazzling diamonds. If you remember the dazzling diamonds from years ago. I felt like we had it forever. I was so sad when it was gone. So here's a sample card I made. Now again, this card I only used 1 drop of re-inker in these snowflakes. This one I used 2 drops. So you can really interchange it. And also, please notice, I used Balmy Blue, but I put it on a Lost Lagoon card base as opposed to the Balmy Blue, and I used a Lost Lagoon ribbon. Here I stamped in Balmy Blue, so you can see the stamp is significantly darker than the snowflake. This is the punch that coordinates with the sparkling snowflakes stamp set that I've used. Okay, I'm going to put this one over to the side to dry. And let's talk about this. I'm going to get my mask right in the water. Again, washi tape would prevent this. I just didn't have any. Or like a painter's tape would be really good. So let me just clean this off. They clean off super easy as long as you get them right in the water. Yeah, the blue paste is gorgeous, isn't it? We're going to do it in Cajun Craze in just a minute as soon as I clean up this goop. All right, so I'm looking for a little container over here to show you what I'm going to do with this blue paste. You know these containers we all have a million of? We get them for everything. Use this to save your colored paste. This is all about not wasting a drop of it. You really can make this go so far. So I think if I were doing a demonstration, I think I would probably go ahead and make 2 or 3 of these cards and use them for Christmas. But if I didn't have time to, I didn't have a need for it, put it in here, cover it up, and put it in the little bags that the containers come in, or get yourself a little lunch bag, okay? So this is a Cajun Craze ink that I did earlier. And I'm going to try to reuse this now. I'm going to put this one in this to keep it sealed. Again, it's all about keeping the air out of it. Okay. I'm going to clean this. So I'm just going to lay my cloth here. I just have like an old dish towel that I'm using. And it really cleans up nice. Really nice. Okay, I'm going to put this one aside. I showed you this card, correct? Yes, I think I did. Okay, and I'm cleaning off my mat. And again, this can be cleaned after the fact if it dries. It's just a lot more difficult. So that's why I suggest, this is just one of those plastic, like fake Tupperware containers that I filled with warm water. Although, truth be known, it's cool now because I filled it a long time ago, but the warm water was what I was using earlier when I was doing the samples. Okay, see how nice it comes off? So nice and clean. Here's my palette knife. So nice and clean. Okay, so the next one we're going to do... Oh, wait, where's my Christmas one? Okay, I'll show you the Christmas one after. We'll keep with this palette knife for now. This one we're going to do on a Christmas card after. Okay. Then I thought, here I go. I didn't cut myself a piece of vanilla. I apologize. Let me cut a piece of vanilla real quick. Again, I'm just doing a 4 by 5 1/4. So I like Cajun Craze with very vanilla as opposed to white. That's why I chose that one. This is coming out of the 4 square decorative masks. Let me get a piece of colored paper so that you can see what they look like. So this is the one I'm choosing to use, which I love. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. This is another great one. I'm glad you guys are liking this. How pretty is that? That's really gorgeous. So that I'm all about, you know, plaids. That kind of reminds me of a plaid, only a little fancier. And this one is pretty cool. And when I first saw this, my first thought was, you know the stamp set we have with the spaceman? I don't know why this is what I think of when I look at this one. So again, these ones are called, what I do with the bag, these ones are called the 4 square decorative masks. So I'm going to use this one. And again, I'm just going to put a piece of tape here. Now, this was 2 drops of Cajun Craze refill that I used. And just like the blue one, I put some paste on here and I mixed it in. This was what was left over from my sample card. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and use this one. I'm going to put it in here and just work it like this. And it really does go so far. What's in this container is probably enough for 2, maybe 3 cards. Because if you just keep scraping it, you pull up so much. Grab a little more. So it does make it cost effective, especially with the ink refills. And I'm telling you, if you try this, it's a little bit, oh, can you see the sparkle in there? Can you see it? It almost looks wet, but it's not. That wet look is actually the sparkle. Page 136, yes. The knives are also sold separately. Yes, thank you, Karen. Someone must have asked about that and I missed it. So you buy the paste and you buy the knives separately, which makes sense because if you love doing this, if you think this is awesome and you have a lot of fun, you may need to buy more than one paste over time, right? So no sense in having to repurchase the knives. So thank you, Karen, for pulling that up. Grateful for your help. Okay, so as you can see, I definitely would have enough for a second card here. And I'm just going to put this in and give that a little washing. And dry it off like this. And here we go. You ready? This is pretty cool. So, in regards to, oh, look, I messed it up a little bit. I must have somehow moved it. See right there? I got it to seep in, so I must not have it totally flat. Maybe while I was talking, I lifted it a little bit. I'm going to put this in here. So, I will say that oh, you were curious. Does it come in both matte and shimmery, Karen? I didn't even notice that, to tell you the truth, because I think I was asked to check out the shimmery. And, okay, so, like I said, this one I messed up a little bit, but you know what? When you see my card design, it's not a big deal. So this is wet. I would leave this at least a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes to dry. You can take a heat tool and apply some heat to it gently to get it to dry as well. Just be careful because you know these heat tools will burn any white paste. So this color probably isn't as big of a deal, but like the white snowflakes, you could definitely burn the paste. Same thing with embossing powder. You can burn embossing powder and it'll actually turn kind of brown. Now, I'm not going to chance it. I doubt that that's totally dry. But let me show you what I did with it. Let me get rid of this first. I'm actually going to get rid of this whole piece now because I think I have a sufficient amount of yuck on it. Maybe I'll just fold it over because I do have one more I want to do. And let me just clean up this mat so that it doesn't stain or dry. And I'm literally just using my fingers to run the water over this, and it comes out very clean. The only thing you want to be careful of when you're rubbing it, especially the snowflake one, be careful you don't accidentally lift like a little edge. So you just want to be gentle. You could use paper towels if you wanted and just pat it dry. There we go, nice and clean, ready for the next time. Okay, this is what I did with that one we just did. Just water, no soap, Karen. So, next order, right? So, yes, I did not put soap in that water. I just did warm water when I was working with it and experimenting. Then I filled the tub. I cleaned the tub and filled the tub again, and it's been sitting here, and now it's cold water because it's been sitting too long. So you can see here where I messed up. This shape would go right over it nicely. So that's the Pick a Patch bundle, the Pick of the Patch bundle and the accompanying punch. This is done in pumpkin pie with the little vanilla and black gingham ribbon. And this is the new heartfelt hexagon punch, which I really love. And there's our thank you greeting. So there we go. So there's that one. All right, let's go on to the next one. I thought, let's do something Christmassy. So here's where I'm going to go and look at what I'm going to do. I'm going to scrape all the way around the edge because you want to try to keep the paste together. If it's around the edge, it'll dry out much quicker. So keep it together by pushing it down in the bin. That's my first big tip. Okay. Boy, when I do this, can you guys see like the blue sparkles in here? It's really pretty. All right, so this is the One Horse Open Sleigh DSP that was very, very popular. A lot of you ordered the Christmas class. And this one I found was good because it gave me a nice sharp edge. And I'm just going to kind of run it down the roof line just a little bit. Not too much paste at a time. We're just doing a little at a time. Just to give it a little snowy effect like this. And I'm going to do it on this little house over here. I don't know. This is like a ski chalet almost. So I'm using the point of this to apply it. And then I'm kind of pulling it down a little. And I am going to bring it down this outside edge. Just a little. So this palette tool is good for fine detail work as compared to the other one, whoops, that we're kind of just spreading. Okay, now I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to add some to make the snow have a little shine and just a little bit of texture. I'm not going to add it to any of the blue. I'm actually going to add it to the back of the knife and kind of pull it down like this. And I'm going to kind of go over this here. And less is more. You can always add more. You can always go back and add. You can take away on the decorative mask. Take it away doesn't have a big effect. On your DSP or your regular, I guess on the DSP, you could leave like residue. You may not get it totally clean. So we're just adding just a little bit to give it some dimension like that. And again, I'm not sure how much it's glistening on the camera, but let me tell you in person, it is very, very shiny. I'm going to come in, I'm going to use the back side of the point and just add some snow to this pine tree. I mean, there's already an image of snow there, so I'm kind of just going over what's already there. It's not like I have to be super creative or have any great ideas of how it's supposed to be. And I do find it's easier to pick it up on the back with this one to add it. Like this. And I'm going to add it to the corner of this tree. And you could go in, I didn't do it on my initial sample, but you could go in and add it to these little trees in the distance. I wouldn't do it very heavy. I would just slightly do it, because something that far away, you wouldn't see a lot of it. So you just want to add a little. And I think that's good. There we go. Okay, I'm going to show you the finished card, but before I do, I'm going to clean this up. So again, I'm just going to come in and scoop up all this paste. Now you can see here is already kind of dried. And that's on the silicone, which keeps it softer longer. Here we go. And what all I'm trying to do here is get the majority of the paste around the edge towards the center. So while we're talking, I'm just going to plop this in there to be cleaned later along with my knife. You don't have to clean it right away. You can leave it sit. I want to get this nice and tight. And I left my plastic bag on the other table. But you are going to want to put that back in the plastic bag when you're done. And look, we did not use very much paste at all. Hi, Linda. I'm glad you're here. We did not use very much of this paste at all when you look at it. I mean, I experimented. Here is the finished product. My Christmas card finished product. You can see the little snow there, because I knew you were going to ask me where that Merry Christmas came from. It's from Berry Cute. It's a great little set, and I love that Merry Christmas. And I mean, it's cute. It's great. Oh, I'm glad, Linda. So I hope you guys share. Please send me photos if you do it. I don't know that the camera is really picking up the shimmer on this. I'm seeing it. I'm not certain you're seeing it, but I can tell you it looks very much like it has dazzling diamonds on it. Dry time. So this is dry, and I did this probably about maybe 3 o'clock. So I would say, let's look at this. This is the first one I started, however long ago that was. And this is drying. It's not completely dry. I would say a half an hour, 40 minutes. Definitely. Half an hour or 40 minutes to leave it to dry, so that you're certain that it doesn't smudge. Or, like I said, you can take the dryer to it. So there we go. So this palette knife, I would definitely suggest for anything that you use a stencil on. This one, I think if you were going to take some paste and make a good sized portion of paste, put it like in a little Dixie cup or something, you would use this to mix it if you were adding your ink refills to it, I think. If someone has a better idea for this, but that's what I would say. Perhaps the other thing to use this for, now that I say that, and let's try it. Supposing you wanted a winter scene, okay? So I'm going to take this Balmy Blue one out. Like a snowdrift scene in the background. Let me get this one open. So again, this is the two drops of Balmy Blue ink refill. And there you probably can see the shimmer good. And I'm just going to take, look, just that much. You know what this might be good for now that I'm thinking about it? Is if you wanted to make it look, now I have a vanilla piece, sadly, not a white piece. But supposing you wanted to make a snow-blown scene. And in the front, you want to have a snowman, maybe. This is maybe what this knife would be good for. To make it look like the wind is swirling and the snow is blowing in the background. And then in the foreground, you put your little character. I just happen to have a gingerbread man here. But, you know, snowman, think snowman, right? That's what I think this would be useful for. Other than that, I'm not really certain. But And as you can see, I didn't spread it evenly. I didn't spread it smoothly because I do want it to have that wind-blown look. So that's what I was going for there. I'll have to try to come up with a card front for this. I'll have to look and see what we have for stamp sets. You know, it'd be really cute maybe if you held it this way, did the snow like this in the background, and then had the beautiful one-horse open sleigh, the sleigh with the horses, and the snow's blowing in the background. Wouldn't that be beautiful? I think that would be really beautiful. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So, all right. Well, if you give this a try, I would love to see what you come up with. I'm telling you, it's a little bit addictive. I really probably could have stood here for 8 hours today creating cards. I had to stop myself because I had other things to do. But look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Isn't that gorgeous? It's gorgeous. Anyway, all right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm very grateful. I will see you tomorrow for Fun Fold Friday. Again, I'll probably be on the later side. I tend to find when I do it later, I'm a little more productive during the day. So, I'll probably be, close to this time again tomorrow. And I thank you. Oh, and you are most welcome. And I thank you so much for being here. And I'm grateful that you asked me to give this a showcase. And I only wish one thing. I only wish you could see the true sparkle of this paste. Because it really, it's almost like this iridescent ribbon, except in paste form. All right, you guys. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Bye.